Hello everyone and welcome to this week's episode of the Munce Report as we're coming to you from the Doomben Jumpouts. The man next to me has been busy saddling and dealing with owners and jockeys. He's taken some time out to reflect on the winners' room and how busy he's been in there over the past week or so. Two big winners at odds, Centrefire and Dash for Dreams. How good?
Doing very well, yeah. No, two nice mares and they're getting up high in the ratings and a bit of prize money in their belt, so it's good for future races.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about their races and their wins in more detail in the show coming up. We've also got a special guest who goes back a long way with Chris and the Munce family. Chris will give you some horses to follow from today's jump outs, as well as all the weekend previews heading into the start of the Queensland Racing Carnival. Well, it's been a huge week for the stable. Centrefire kicked things off in outstanding fashion. 40-1 winner, resuming her preparation in great style.
It was a good win. I mean, I wasn't overly confident, I've got to be honest. I spoke to my father on the Friday night and I couldn't really give her a good push, but he managed to have a small saver on her the next day. But she done a good job. She raced very well and she was certainly strong to the line.
Wasn't she? Fantastic start to her preparation. As you said, a little bit unexpected from your end. So where do you go with her now?
Yeah, well, she'll go to just a few of the nice fillies and mares races throughout the winter. She'll probably go to the Bright Shadow next start. Just hopefully she can draw a gate. That was part of the problem in the last prep. She was just drawing bad barriers and whatnot, but still racing well. So she sort of come back and picked up and improved from where she ended up last prep.
And she's establishing a great record now, isn't she?
Yeah, she is, and she's a lovely mare. You know, as a brood mare, she's going to be, she's going to be well found. I think she's going to be nice for some stud in future career as a brood mare. But look, at this stage of her career, she's still enjoying her racing, and she'll race over the winter.
Speaking of enjoying their racing, Dash for Dreams, she's notched another win, saluting at $12 at Ipswich, and that's her 7th career win.
Yeah, it's good. And she's only lightly raced for a mare of her age. She's only had the 20 starts and she's won 7, so she's got a good record behind her, and she just keeps aiming up. Back to the 1200 was going to be a bit of a risk, I suppose, but she was very strong to the line, and she'll probably now go to the silk stocking on ATC Cup Day at the Gold Coast.
Yeah, well, amazing, isn't it? You know, we were talking about her a few weeks ago, now that she's getting up to where it hurts out of her grade, and now you're talking about a listed race, exciting times for the young family.
Well, it is, and if she can happen to win or place in one of those races, she's another one. She's worth good money as a broodmare.
Outstanding form from the stable, and hopefully the winners keep coming. Well, it was a big morning of jump outs here at Doomben on Thursday. 17 horses going around, effectively having their next trial from these. A lot of these horses were trialling officially a fortnight ago. And what caught your eye this morning?
I was pretty happy with a lot of them, Adam. I thought Rhapsody Rose improved nicely. Her trial was very good today, showed good speed and sustained it right through the line. I thought Hot Spring Gold, the Racing League horse, I thought he trialled quite nicely. There's actually quite a few of them. The 2-year-olds, I thought Brookhaven, he trialled it good again, and he'll improve now once he gets to the races even more.
Okay, and Goldschlager impressed also?
Goldschlager went very well, yeah. She was given a good ride by my new apprentice, Savannah McCann, who's still learning, but she rode her very well, and Goldschlager performed accordingly.
Okay, and Boom Nova went around in one of the later heats. Are you happy with that performance?
I was, yeah. She's not really a no-wet tracker. She seems to race better on top of the ground, but it was a good fitness sort of maintenance gallop for her today, and I'm sure she'll bounce off it very well. Okay,
well there you go, a few runners to follow out of the trials heading into their next preparations. Okay, we'll meet the owner time, and we're here with Michael Angelis, who's a good friend of Chris, and there's a bit of history between you both.
Plenty of history. We go back a long way. I think we're friends first, but of course, we know Chris is a fantastic trainer. I love racing horses with him, and of course, we had a bit of success when Chris was on top of the horses. So it's very fond memories.
And that all started with you had horses with Gay Waterhouse, and that's where the association all began when Chris was in his heyday riding for Gay.
Yeah, well, Chris was with Gay, and I had some horses there, and fortunately, I got involved with a horse called Dance Hero, and and Chris ran to all 3 Group 1s. Yeah. Golden Slippers and Triple Crowns and Salinger Stakes, and they're fantastic.
Must have been a huge thrill, and obviously you've got fond memories of that horse too. I know Chris has a strong place in your heart.
Yeah, he sure does, Adam. I mean, I always maintain he's probably the best 2-year-old that I've ever ridden. What he did as a 2-year-old is incredible. Win the Magic Millions, then winning the Triple Crown through to the Champagne Stakes over a mile. I mean, there's not too many horses that have been able to do that. And he also did it 3 Saturdays in a row. Golden Slipper size, Champagne Stakes Saturday. So, he was a very good 2-year-old.
Yeah, sure was. And talk us through those days, Michael, as an owner. I mean, that's what, as owners, we all love to hear, that the fairy tale stories. So,
I'm getting the goosebumps now,
the tingles, the tingles.
Well, they don't go away, even though it's, a long time ago. But when Chris was talking about those 3 Saturdays in a row, it's almost a blur, because you can't believe you've got a horse that good that's running those races, let alone winning. And so I remember after the Champagne, the 3rd Saturday in a row, the horse was fatigued, Chris was fatigued, the owners were gone. But that's what you dream about.
Sure, and I hear there was some divine intervention on that Golden Slipper Day. Tell us about that.
Well, now I'm really getting the goosebumps, because that was the day that Mrs. Valerie Smith, this was Gay's mother, but she passed away, God rest her soul. We're in the enclosure before the race, and I see Mrs. Smith open up her race book, and she pulls out a 4-leaf clover, and she walks over to Chris, and I think she's giving him instructions what to do. Anyway, she rubs on the silks. Okay, that's good. And Chris goes on the horse, and I said to Mrs. Smith, now, when's the last time you used that lucky charm? Thinking she's going to say a week or 2 ago. She said, last time we used that, Michael, was on Tulloch. And my knees buckled. And then he come out and rode the race of his life, and he won.
What were your thoughts then, mate? I mean, you're in the zone, you're trying to think about the race ahead, and then you're...
Yeah, look, well, I mean, I was just really enjoying the day and enjoying the ride. I mean, I knew I was very confident. It's funny, you ride a lot of horses and you get a feel for horses, and the 2 times that I've never felt more confident about a horse going into a Group 1 and winning was him winning the Magic Millions and the Golden Slipper. I just thought,
wow,
the fact that he drew well, and he still holds the record. As far as I'm aware, he still holds the race record for Golden Slipper. So he just ran even splits, first 600 the same as the last 600, and just run them into the ground.
Job done. Well, what a horse he was, and no doubt there were some celebrations that night. All owners love the celebration stories. Can we remember much of that Golden Slipper night, or?
No, I can't, Adam. It is a blur, but we did celebrate long and hard for those few weeks in a row. But I do remember when he won the 3rd leg of the Triple Crown. We were down at a restaurant somewhere, and one of the connections of another horse happened to be sitting on the table next to me, so I just happened to send over 3 crowns, just to remind them that we got the Triple Crown. Sorry, guys, couldn't help it.
Very gracious, very gracious.
Very gracious.
Well, your ownership story has continued, and obviously, as you mentioned, you followed Chris's journey into training. Tell us about the horses that you have in the stable with Chris at the moment.
We've got a beautiful mare. Chris describes her as a sweetheart, our grey Boom Nova. Honest as the day's long, she just always puts in. She's given us tremendous thrill. And involved with a couple of new ones, a lean mean machine filly that Chris recently bought, and a Flying Artie gelding that just trialled now, Artemis. So I love it. And I think, for owners that don't know Chris, when he was a jockey, he was cocky and he was brash and he backed himself.
No.
Right? And it's a beautiful thing. And as a trainer, it's the same. And that's one of his reasons, in my opinion, for his success. And so, I love racing horses with Chris. Yeah. It's great.
And interesting to hear also that, you've got the bug, you've already had the success, you've scaled the heights, but you're still chasing, you still love ownership and what it brings.
Absolutely, and it's the thrill of the race day itself, but it's the people you meet, and I think that's the important part of racing. It's a real melting pot. You get all different kinds of people, and you make some beautiful friends over the time, and I consider Chris to be a good friend. And it's just really nice. Yeah.
And speaking of friendship, I mean, that's where it all began with ownership, and Chris, you as a jockey, but your children went to school together. You obviously formed a friendship beyond just the racetrack.
Yeah, we did, and I mean, Michael and I share the same birthday, even coincidentally. But no, well, look, we've been knowing Michael and Catherine and the family for a long time, and it's been a real pleasure to be able to remain good friends, even though we're a long way apart. We still talk as often as we can, even though we have busy schedules, and we still stay in contact where we can.
Well, it's a great story. Thanks for your sharing some of your success stories, and that's what everyone's chasing, aren't they? So, great to have you on the show and hear more about your story.
Thanks for having me. Enjoyed it.
Okay, week one of the Queensland Carnival kicks off on Saturday, a big day of racing, and you've got two runners in one of the features, the Group 2 Queensland Guineas. Southern Stock, we know him, he's won 2 of his last 3, but comes back in trip for this ahead of obviously his road into the Derby.
Yeah, it's probably not really his grand final this weekend, but he needs to get the routine back in, his program back on track, and the Guineas was always the race to run him in, and Larry's retained the ride, which I'm really pleased with. He gets along well with the horse and knows him, so I would think that he'll be finishing off nicely at the end of the race. I'd like to see him running on strongly. He certainly won't be up on the speed, he'll be getting back and running on.
Okay, very good. And then Sea Ripple is also entered for the same race. She's a newcomer to the stable from the BK Racing and Breeding team. Lightly raced, but has a good record.
She's a nice filly, yeah. She's just a new addition to our stable. She's only lightly raced. She's drawn quite nicely. She's still eligible, obviously, for a lot easier races, but you know, she's a nice filly. We want to see where we're at this stage of her career, and I would suggest she'll probably still go around and take her place.
Okay, well, exciting for owners there. $350,000 in prize money to be won in the Queensland Guineas, and as you said, for Southern Stock, it's a pathway towards something else throughout the carnival. Earlier on in the day, Smart Meteor is on the quick backup. Goes up to the 1825 metres after running over the mile last weekend in the listed race.
Yeah, well, he was a late nomination. This race wasn't really on his agenda, but I felt the way he raced last Saturday, he looked to me like he was in need of another run before the couple of races that are coming up that do suit him, and the fact that they called for extra noms I think really suited him, and I just think it's a nice race. He's probably up in where the weights, he's got enough weight on his back, but he's racing very well, and he likes Eagle Farm. Okay,
well, could be a little bonus there for him on his route to other races.
Sure, I mean, like at the end of the day, that probably Ipswich Cup and those level cup races are his goal, but this is a nice race going forward.
Okay, quickly touching on the provincial Sunshine Coast. Friday night, Strategic Success is back from the 2200 metres to the 1800 metres here.
Yeah, he's in very good order, this horse. I thought he still raced well the other day. It was a quick jump from a mile to the 2200. But I think the 1800 on Friday night is going to suit him down the ground. He's done really well. Carl Zachner retains the ride, and he knows him well by now, so I'm sure he'll give him a good ride.
Okay, and then Bow Desert on Saturday. You've got Scoozy's Flyer entered for that meeting.
He'll be nominated there. It will depend on what the weather does and his barrier draw, but he's a nice horse, still learning how to be competitive and race properly, but he's got ability. Okay,
and then wrapping out the weekend is the Ipswich Labor Day meeting. You've got Better Rush entered for the Benchmark 68 handicap over the 800.
Yeah, this was nice. She was a late nom for that race, but I just felt that she'd been a little bit of time between runs, and the tracks haven't really suited her. I thought we did the right thing by scratching her from Ipswich when the track was downgraded the way it was. So I just hope that by Monday the weather clears and we've got a good surface to race on for her.
Okay, and then the final runner for the weekend is Reliable Ruby, who's the last start winner. Stormed home to victory last start for the Strong Bloodstock team. Entered for a Class 2 plate over the 1100 metres.
Going very well. Yeah, I couldn't be happy with Ruby. She just seems to be in a good vein of form. We seem to have the key to her, just keeping her a bit lightly raced, and she's enjoying life and performing well.
Very good. Well, there you have it. There's the preview heading into a big weekend of racing, so good luck to everyone over the weekend.